There are so many great wrestlers in WWE, but generally speaking, not everyone can rise to the top. There usually is only a select handful of wrestlers that are the true cream of the crop who are going to win the WWE Championship. But because it is wrestling and anything can happen, we can take a look forward into the future and take a guess as to who we think is a future WWE champ. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. I've made this tier list that has the future WWE champions, maybe with the right push, unlikely but possible, doubt it, past their time, or never going to happen. And we are going to put all these different wrestlers right here into one of these categories. It's going to be interesting. It's going to cause a lot of controversy in the comments, but it should be a lot of fun. So before we begin, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Turn those notifications on and keep coming back here because we upload wrestling videos every single day. All right, let's kick this off here with a little AJ Styles. So AJ Styles right here, obviously he's been a WWE champion. He's one of those guys that has crushed it his entire career, but he is in the latter stages of his career. He did just get a WWE championship match against Cody Rhodes. It didn't go well for this man, but the match itself was still elite. It could happen with the right push for AJ Styles again, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with my gut. I don't think AJ Styles is ever going to be the WWE champion again. And now when we're talking about the WWE championship, we are talking about the WWE undisputed title that Cody Rhodes is holding. We're not talking about the World Heavyweight title. We are talking about that golden championship. So they got to be able to rise up to that title, and I just don't see AJ Styles getting that opportunity again. How about the WWE Speed Champion Andrade? Now, Andrade is an interesting one because this guy right here, he has everything that it takes to become a WWE champion. In fact, he's got a lot of people behind him thinking he might rise up and become that guy, right? I'd love to see it for him, but like, I don't know. There's just something about Andrade right now that it feels unlikely that Andrade is ever going to become the WWE champion. Could he become a United States champion? Absolutely. Could he become an Intercontinental champion, tag team champion, hell, even NXT champion again? Yeah, I feel like that's in the realm of possibility, but the WWE champion, it could be with the right push, right? You know, if like people really get behind him, it could be with the right push. But I'm going to go with unlikely but possible. Next up is Angel Garza. Now, this isn't in alphabetical order. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Well, we're just going to roll through whatever is next is next. So Angel Garza, one half of the tag team with Humberto Carrillo, whatever you want to call him, part of the faction with Santos Escobar. It's I'm gonna go ahead and say it's never gonna happen. All right, I'm sorry, Angel Garza. I just don't see a world where this is the guy who is going to be a WWE champion. I think he's great in the ring. When he was the Cruiserweight champion down in NXT, he had a really fun gimmick where he ripped off his pants, but that seems to be the highlight of Angel Garza and his entire career so far. He's a strong hand. He's good in the ring. He's going to be a future tag team champion again, but like, I just don't see Angel Garza ever becoming WWE champion. Carlito. Carlito cool. Man, oh man. Back in 2007, I would have probably said with the right push, this guy could become a WWE champion, but now he's caught up in street trash Judgment Day business. It's not going to happen, is it? Like, I highly doubt, like, I could put doubt it here, and we could say also past their time because he is a little older, and I think the age is playing more a factor as opposed to the character itself. You know what? That's probably very fair right here. It's past his time, right? He's just too old. He's now here for the generation of the future. He's not here for himself anymore. He's going to do the job for up-and-coming talent, whether it be Dragon Lee or whoever else it may be. So yeah, I think Carlito is just past his time. It could be with the right push, you know, if the Judgment Day really wanted to brand him as like the guy, but he's too much of a comedy character at this point. I just don't see Carlito being that man. Let's go with an interesting one right here. A younger superstar, Brutus Creed from American Made. I like his chances, okay? He is a big dude who's starting to show a lot of personality. If you've checked out his Instagram, he's like rating fast food meals. Like, he's got the Taco Bell sauces, he's got Red Bull, which energy drink he likes best. Like, he's got a personality that is growing, and he's in the right group. Plus, he's incredibly talented in the ring. I think this is one that could actually end up happening in the future with the right push. If Brutus Creed gets the people behind him and he gets WWE's machine behind him, there's really no reason why he couldn't become a WWE champion. He can talk in the ring, like I said. He can work, and he's kind of a big, imposing dude. He's got main event potential, no doubt about it. So easy to say with the right push that Brutus Creed could become a WWE champion. Jake TV 72, or Bronson Reed as the masses call him. We're on to your game, Jake. We know you're this man. You know you're pulling double duty every Monday Night Raw. Those streams are pre-recorded of yours. But Bronson Reed, look, if we go back a few months ago, I was going to probably say doubt it, to be perfectly honest. Bronson Reed a few months ago felt like that was a doubt it. It felt like he would never reach that top. He could potentially, right? But like now, what I feel like is Bronson Reed is still unlikely because it feels like he's going to be a middle of the card guy, but is going to be a strong middle of the card guy. But usually when you have somebody who continues to get over in the middle of the card, they eventually get their opportunity near the top. And so if he can continue to be presented in this giant way, like we've seen against Braun Strowman, where he's just destroying Braun, or like we've seen against Seth Rollins, where he absolutely wrote him off TV, this could be a guy that could get the right push, who could end up becoming a WWE champion. But still, to me, it feels unlikely. I don't know if he's going to have the momentum to get there, and I don't know if just the big dude who squashes people is going to be enough to warrant a WWE championship. Regardless, his work's incredible, and he definitely could be. We have our first future WWE champion right here in Bron Breakker, and I don't think anybody in the comments are going to disagree with me. We've seen this guy hold on to the NXT championship. He destroyed it as NXT champion, can work as babyface, can work as heel. He's got a bit of a catchphrase now. There's a spider crawling on my wall. You're done. I just upset my dog, but I got the spider. And don't worry. I got the spider. It's all good. But it's just so incredibly obvious that Bron Breakker is like the prospect for WWE. Already became Intercontinental Champion and has already had the title taken off of him. Generally speaking, when you get hot shotted to the mid-card championship like that and there's still strong positive reactions for you, the next stop is the main event. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bron Breakker versus Gunther soon. Hell, he could be the guy to take the title off of Gunther. Maybe Royal Rumble, maybe even WrestleMania. If they really wanted to, this could be the guy. But I feel like it's still a little too soon to put that title on Bron Breakker. I don't know what we do with him in the meantime. Like, we're talking about the WWE Championship, right? So that's world title. But how do we get to the WWE title? Well, him versus Cody would be money. Him versus Roman would be money. There's a lot of money matches on the table here with Bron Breakker just because of the excitement factor as well. So without a doubt, he is a future WWE champion. He is going to be a future world champion in the next year, I think. This is about as big of a home run as we get. For sure, Bron Breakker, future WWE champion. How about Braun Strowman, though? Braun Strowman is a former Universal champion, so technically speaking, he has done it. He has been there to the mountaintop before, but in 2024, it just kind of feels almost like Bronson Reed right there. There's a lot of Brons in WWE. It kind of feels like Bronson Reed, where it's unlikely going to happen again. I don't want to put him in the past their time because I still feel like Braun Strowman has a lot to offer, and this version of Braun Strowman has been the best version of Strowman yet, in my opinion. I love his stuff weekly. He's very entertaining right now, and that could warrant a shot at the WWE Championship. But do I see WWE really running with Braun Strowman as their guy again? It doesn't feel like it. You know, a World Heavyweight title, more likely for Braun Strowman than the WWE Championship. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's unlikely, but still possible. It's not out of the realm of impossibility. You know what I mean? He might very well get the job done someday. So, hey, he might get back there, but I'm going to go ahead and say unlikely. Baron Corbin. Oh, man, dude. I want so much more for Baron Corbin. I really, really do. I think that the guy is really underrated right now. his work in NXT helped show that he can go in the ring. Like he's gotten himself over as a babyface, which is wild to think about because at one point Baron Corbin was one of the most hated people on Monday Night Raw. Everybody wanted to see the end of Corbin. Then he became bum-ass Corbin and happy Corbin, and it was just a slow descent into irrelevancy for a while there. But once he went back down to NXT, he started crushing it, became one half the tag team champions with Bron Breakker, becoming the Wolf Dogs. It was a great, fun tag team. I thought they probably should have brought him up to the main roster together, but now he's tagging with Apollo Crews. And it just feels like he's lost in the shuffle. Maybe someday they'll be able to get the momentum back for Baron Corbin, but look, he probably should have stayed in NXT. Probably should have went after the NXT championship, and then we're talking a completely different game, right? So for now, Baron Corbin, I doubt it. Austin Theory, so young, so much potential. If it was still Vince McMahon there, I think he would be a WWE champion by now. There was that much momentum. He was Mr. Money in the Bank at one point. Look, I think we can all agree that Austin Theory just still has far too much to offer to give up on him right now, although I don't think it's as much of a home run as it used to be. Go back 2 years' time, I think a lot of us were saying he is a future WWE champion for sure. Now it's like, with the right push, as maybe a babyface, maybe he'll be a WWE champion. There's a bit of a disconnect right now with Austin Theory, and I do think it's because we're waiting for the face turn. The stuff he's got going on with Grayson Waller is great, but it's not elevating him up the card yet. He's going to have to turn babyface in order to get the right push and to get the fans behind him. So, yeah, with the right push, Austin Theory could very well become a WWE champion. Now, we mentioned Baron Corbin tagging with Apollo Crews, and Apollo Crews, look, he's got the look at least, so I don't think it's the time to truly give up on him. But the best run that he had was as Intercontinental Champion, right? And he had to speak in an entirely different accent. He didn't sound like himself. He wasn't his own character. Then he went back down to NXT and he was like a future teller. Like he could see the future somehow. I don't know. And now he's back up on the main roster tagging with Baron Corbin. To me, that doesn't sound like a future WWE champion. To me, that sounds like a guy who's going to be middle of the card, putting people over for a while and getting the occasional push, maybe a mid-card championship. To me, this is a highly doubt it. I could almost say never going to happen, but the only thing that kind of saves him is his physique. You know, he's a very impressive looking individual. So yeah, Apollo Crews, doubt it, but you never know. Next up is one half of the tag team, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins. And if we take a look at WWE right now, the Street Profits are one of those tag teams that have so much potential as a solo star. Before, it was all about Montez Ford, right? Everybody was talking about how Montez is going to be the guy. He's going to be a future WWE champion. But we didn't talk enough about Angelo Dawkins. And Angelo Dawkins has found a way to put himself into that conversation as if the Street Profits did break up, if they do go their separate ways, this guy could very well become a future WWE champion. I'm going to go ahead, though, still say it's unlikely, all right? Because a lot of things have to happen for Angelo Dawkins to become the guy. And he does feel like he could become a world heavyweight champion if the Street Profits split. But to get to that WWE championship, it would almost have to be Montez Ford winning the WWE title and then Angelo Dawkins going after him, and we tell the story over the WWE championship. That's really the only way I see it happening. So I'm going to go ahead and say unlikely, but still possible. You know, a while ago, he would have been down here in the doubt it. Now I feel like the big dude can push his way towards that top if there's the right star. Actually, you know what? Here I am saying all this stuff. It's probably with the right push, isn't it? It's going to take the right push for Angelo Dawkins to get to that title. It's not unlikely. It just takes the right push. So yeah, Angelo Dawkins, unlikely, but... or I guess with the right push. He's somewhere in between. He's literally in between, isn't he? But we'll go here. With the right push, Angelo Dawkins could be. Drew McIntyre. All right, now we're cooking. This guy right here has already been the Universal Champion. He should be one again. I don't think anybody's going to disagree. This guy is too good. He's doing the best work of his career right now. It would be a shame to put him anywhere else. And like, By the time the dust is settled, I do think we see Drew McIntyre hold on to that WWE Championship someday. It might be a couple of years from now still, because he's kind of entrenched over on the Monday Night Raw side of things. And if the WWE Championship's going to stay on SmackDown, then I don't know how he gets to that. But he could, and he probably should. So he should be a future WWE champion. This is about as easy as Bron Breakker right here, no doubt. Now we're going to walk through the flames with Dragon Lee. I love this guy. I love Dragon Lee. I love that we're finally starting to see the second coming of Rey Mysterio. And it feels like he is going to become a champion someday. But the question is, will it be the WWE champion? He's for sure going to be an IC champion. He's for sure going to be an Intercontinental champion. That's the same thing. He's for sure going to be a United States champion. But, like, could he become the WWE champion? World Championship is still even up in the air, I would say. But this does feel like if people get behind him, it's just going to take the right push for Dragon Lee. I know people are probably like, he's too small of a character. He's got a mask, and WWE generally doesn't like to put somebody with a mask at the top of their company. Like Rey Mysterio's the exception, not the rule, right? So Dragon Lee could become that guy. And in fact, I'd love to see it. So many people would. So why not, right? With the right push, Dragon Lee should be able to rise up that card. We have a former world heavyweight champion right here in Damian Priest, one half of the Terror Twins, a guy who has completely taken over WWE in 2024 and proved the haters wrong, right? Like, this guy has shown that he was a great world heavyweight champion. He has crushed everything that has been given to him. He literally, we might as well call this the Midas Man, because everything he touches turns to gold. I think that it's safe to say he probably could become one, but the only thing that's holding me back from for sure putting him here at the top of the list is that he's a little bit older. With him being, 41? Yeah, he's 42, right? He's 42. So it's one of those things that it feels like maybe it's a little too late in his career. Now, granted, 40 is now the new prime of wrestling for some reason, somehow. 36 to 43, 44 seems to be the prime of pro wrestlers. It's like they finally get it. They're truly over with the crowd, and they understand how to work a main event level. So I think we are just going to be waiting here with the right push again. Now, this seems to be the potential one. Like, whatever goes in this with the right push seems to be people with potential who could probably get it done. It just takes creative getting behind them. It makes total sense that if Damian Priest were to swap over to SmackDown, he would be challenging for that WWE Championship. And you never know, they could pull the trigger on him winning the title. So I'll say with the right push. Andre Chase. This is an interesting one. The leader of Chase U from NXT. Look, I love Andre. I think he's great, but I can't see a world where Andre Chase is going to be in contention for the WWE Championship. He's a great act. I think his university could become a main roster thing, like where we see the actual faction of Chase U go up to the main roster someday, and then we do these class segments on the main roster. It definitely has its place, but I don't see that ever being a WWE Championship like character. So definitely not. Never gonna happen. CM Punk. Oh man, dude. I don't know about Punk holding on to the WWE Championship. Could they make that happen? Like, part of me wants to say, yeah, he's going to be a future WWE champion. But when we really start to think about it, are they going to do it with CM Punk? Or is it past his time? Right? Like, I know he's going to go after the World Heavyweight Championship. Do they go in the direction of Cody Rhodes versus Punk? Or what if Roman Reigns wins the title back? Do they go in the direction of Roman Reigns versus Punk? See, that seems likely. That could end up happening, because then you have the battle of Paul Heyman. Which side does he choose? Is he on Roman's side? Is he on Punk's side? There's things that could happen there. Punk versus Cody? Well, it'd be a mega money match. Do you think WWE is actually going to pull the trigger on it? Would they be nervous that CM Punk would be the babyface and Punk would outshine Cody Rhodes? Like, that could be a thing. So I'm going to sit here and say that Punk isn't a lock. He's not a guarantee. With the right push and the right story, definitely I think Punk could become a WWE champion. But I don't know if WWE is going to do it, so that's where I'm putting him. Tommaso Ciampa. I don't have to overthink this one. I doubt it's ever going to happen. Tommaso Ciampa as NXT champion was bloody amazing. It's part of my favorite time period in pro wrestling with NXT Black and Gold with the Johnny Gargano versus Ciampa feud. It was just absolutely incredible, but I don't see a world where Mini Trips over here is going to get the WWE Championship. Could he be a challenger for it? Sure. Could he be a guy who challenges for the World Heavyweight title? Sure. Do I see him being the guy who they put the title on? Nah, unfortunately. A little too old at this point in his career and a little too small for the main roster. So no, unfortunately, Ciampa, I doubt it's going to happen. Charlie Dempsey, the son of William Regal. Hey, this one, I'm going to put him up here a little higher because Charlie Dempsey has something different about him. He could be partnered with William Regal, and if done right, if given a faction, say if he had New Catch Republic with him, along with, I don't know, another bigger dude down there. You guys can take a guess who should be in his faction, but if you put New Catch Republic and William Regal with Charlie Dempsey, maybe bring up Tavion Heights with him to have that bigger dude. Look, that feels like that could be a main event faction. They're young enough. It could potentially happen, but on his own, I don't see it happening. With a faction, especially with William Regal as his manager, maybe. So I feel like it's unlikely, but it is possible. Chad Gable. Oh, good old Gable. Look, dude, a few months ago, it felt like it. With him being a part of American Made, it feels like it could happen, but they never pulled the trigger on the Intercontinental title. If they did, we're singing a completely different tune. I think he would be a future WWE champion, especially with that group that he has. But now, it feels unlikely. I don't know what it is about Chad Gable, but it really does feel like they are only concerned about him being a middle-of-the-card act. They've put Julius Creed and Brutus Creed with him, and they feel like they could potentially be the breakout stars. This guy right here, I don't know if he's ever going to get the love that he deserves. He should be a future WWE champion. I would love to see Chad Gable as a WWE champion. But for now, with everything that happened with the IC title and how they just fed him to the Wyatt Six, I just don't see it happening. So it's unlikely, but it is possible. John Cena. Wow. Okay, so we're going into John Cena's retirement tour. Now, could Cena be the guy to face Cody Rhodes for that title at WrestleMania? Doubt it. I actually do doubt it. You know what I mean? I think that it's likely going to be Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for that undisputed championship. That is, if Cody Rhodes holds on to the title all the way to Mania. It could be Roman Reigns versus Cody again. We know that draws money. It could be John Cena versus Roman if Roman did take the title from him. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I doubt John Cena is going to be a WWE champion. I'm not ready to put him in past their time yet because I feel like John Cena is John Cena. And if he decides, hey, I want one more run with that WWE championship, they might just say, all right, sure, here you go, have it. But more than likely, if he's going to get a run with a world title, it's going to be the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So him versus Gunther could go down at WrestleMania, but Cena as the WWE Champion, I really do doubt it's going to happen. Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, a little bit ago, before being called up to Friday Night SmackDown, I probably would have had him here as a future WWE Champion. He can talk. He can wrestle. He's got a good look to him. Like, there's really no reason why he shouldn't be here, except for the fact that WWE doesn't really see him as that number one prospect right now. The way that they're presenting him versus the way they're presenting Bron Breakker is really obvious that they are leaning towards Bron Breakker being the guy of the future. You can even argue to say the way that they're presenting Ilja Dragunov is in a better way than Carmelo Hayes. Right now, Carmelo Hayes is just going out there and wrestling really good matches against Andrade, and that's fantastic. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to push him up the card. He's a good, very, very good wrestler. Hell, I'll even say great wrestler. But do they have enough behind him? I just don't know if they do. So it's going to take the right push. It's going to take WWE to say, hey, this is our guy of the future. We're going to build him up. And then eventually fans will be like, yeah, absolutely. He is a world championship or a WWE championship contender. So I'll say with the right push, but Melo's not far off. Next up, we have Duke Hudson. Look, Duke Hudson, killer good matches in NXT lately. Like, seriously, he's been destroying the competition down in NXT, really starting to make a name for himself. I think with the right story down in NXT, he could have a run at the NXT Championship. But the WWE Championship, look, I doubt it. He's a big guy. I just don't see a world where Duke Hudson is going to be the guy that they run with. He can speak on the microphone, and when he does get passionate, it does feel like maybe WWE could get behind him, like maybe with the right push. But for now, until he starts showing just a little bit more of that main event potential, I'm going to say it's a doubtful. I don't think he's going to win this thing. I don't think he's going to win the title. So, yeah, I doubt it. Grayson Waller is next on our list, and I'm going to do something that I don't think a lot of people are expecting. I have Grayson Waller up here as a future WWE champion. The guy's got everything going for him, and the fact that he's from Australia means that they could eventually decide, hey, we're going to absolutely push this man to the moon because we want to expand in the Australian market. I could see this happening. The guy reminds me of a young Randy Orton, especially the way that he works in the ring and that he can talk along with his cocky attitude. The fact that he's got a talk show and he's young, why wouldn't you put this man as a future WWE champion? If you told me 10 years from now that Grayson Waller is competing for the WWE title, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. All right, that makes perfect sense. So yeah, I've got him right here. It's weird, though, that I've got him a little bit above Austin Theory because Austin Theory is going to take the right push to get behind. But Grayson Waller is his character right now. If you told me he won the WWE Championship and was gloating in that ring and he was like a slimy, cowardly heel as champion who had other people around him to get away and to take his bumps and all that, to have the heaters with him, like, it makes perfect sense. I could totally see Grayson Waller being a WWE champion. So yeah, I have him at the very top here. Grayson Waller is a future WWE champ. Giovanni Vinci, the dude who keeps losing in like 5 seconds. Doubt it. Doubt it, Vinci. Thanks for coming out, man, but WWE sewered ya. Your new character's dead in the mud. I doubt it. Next up, we have a former Universal Champion. In fact, the very first ever Universal Champion, Finn Balor. One half of the tag team champions, part of the Judgment Day. But look, do you see a world where Finn Balor is going to be the WWE champion ever again? I struggle to see it. I really do. I don't want to say that it's never going to happen because it could, but also I feel like it's past his time. I feel like even though he is there on the main roster, it feels like there's not an opportunity for Finn Balor to become WWE champion again in the future. I feel like he's always going to be around that mid-card now, whether it be involved with the Judgment Day or whether it be involved with a Damian Priest long-term or Dominik Mysterio long-term. Who knows where he's going to end up, but none of those things seem like it's going to lead him to the WWE Championship. It feels like he's more so going to be the stepping stone guy for everybody up the card. If there's like a younger talent who's looking to make a name for themselves, they're probably going to feud with him. I just don't see a world where Finn Balor's going to win the WWE title anymore. So, unfortunately, past his time. Ego. Oh, man. All right. I'll ego Ethan Page. It feels like I'm going to say doubt it here. I don't really see Ethan Page being the guy. I should probably start making these a little bit smaller now because we've got a lot of people still to go. I don't see Ethan Page being the man, all right? I don't know what it is. It's just him as NXT champion has been really good, and I'm a big fan of Ethan Page. For those of you that don't know, he's actually a friend of the channel. One of my groomsmen, his sister actually dated him in high school, so they go way back. And I've heard some stories about this man, and he sounds like just an absolute gem in real life. However, I don't see where he fits in as WWE champion. I would like to say that he could with the right push, but long term, he feels like he's going to be a middle of the card guy on the main roster. I love his work right now with the NXT Championship. I love the way that he's bringing prestige back to it, and he's making himself feel like a credible champ. But like on the main roster, if he got called up tomorrow, it would be a very tough go for Ethan Page to rise up to that main event level. So I've got him at doubt it. Eric, one half of the Viking Raiders. My man, it's never going to happen. Sorry, dude. Gunther, the world heavyweight champion. Okay. All right, I think this is about as safe of a pick as you can get. Like, he obviously is the world champion, so WWE's testing him out in that main event scene, and he's killing it. They tested him out as a main event worker, as the Intercontinental Champion. They put him in so many main event matchups This guy has it all. He is one of the most legitimate wrestlers on the planet, and there is zero reason why WWE shouldn't put their top prize around his shoulder. Gunther for sure is a future WWE heavyweight champion. Julius Creed, I have been so high on since NXT. This is a guy that I've labeled as the future of WWE. There's very few people who can speak on the microphone, who have the athletic background that he has, plus the wrestling ability that he has. He is the total package, and WWE has a gem in Julius Creed. He reminds me of a combination of Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin with a little bit of that raw power that Brock Lesnar possesses. Everything about this guy is amazing, and I can't wait to see what his future looks like. Look, we got Brutus there as like with the right push. This is a man who is going to get to the WWE Championship any way possible. I could see like a Paul Heyman managing him. I could see him being the guy for a long time, whether it be babyface or heel. Like, he just has it. Julius Creed is a future WWE champion. Josh Briggs from NXT. I'm going to go ahead and say it's never going to happen. I think that he's a big imposing dude who is destined for the mid-card. His work rate is solid, but like, I don't see anything in him today that is going to make me think that, yep, that's our guy of the future. You know what I mean? I feel like there's just like, maybe that's a little harsh. You know what? Maybe that's a little harsh. He probably should be here in the Doubt It, because I doubt it's going to happen, but it's never not gonna happen. Oh, how many double negatives did I just use there? It doesn't matter. This is probably the right call. Doubt it. We have Johnny Gargano right here, and oh man, do you know how much this is going to hurt me right here, putting Johnny Gargano in the never going to happen? I love Johnny wrestling. Again, everything about his run in NXT Black and Gold was just amazing, and it's what made me fall in love with pro wrestling. How do we see Johnny Gargano ever holding on to the WWE Championship? I don't know how it happens, right? If you told me this 5 years ago, I would probably have him up here in still the unlikely but possible, with like a strong babyface underdog run. But for Johnny Gargano now in 2024, there's a lot of things that have to go right, and a lot of people that probably either have to get hurt or fired for him to have that opportunity. I love Johnny. I truly do. And if he ever becomes WWE champion, oh my God, I am going to be the first one marking out. But for now, unfortunately, Johnny, I just don't see it happen. It's never going to happen. Jimmy No Yeet Uso. So this is interesting because he obviously is part of the Bloodline story, right? If you have Jimmy Uso up here, you could see eventually, with the right story and the right push, maybe him getting an opportunity at the WWE Championship. Let's say somehow Roman Reigns got that title back. What if Roman Reigns has been in charge of this bloodline the entire time, and Jimmy Uso now has to go up against Roman? With the right push and the right momentum, he could be that guy. So I'm going to sit here and say with the right push, but it feels like he's more than likely in the Doubt It section, but because of his ties to the Bloodline, you never know what the future holds, and the Bloodline story is not going to slow down anytime soon. So I have him with the right push, but a lot has to happen for Jimmy Uso to be the guy. JD McDonough. So the only thing that is going to make me lead to putting JD McDonough here in the Doubt It category is that his work rate is so incredible and his selling is incredible. And sometimes when you're that guy who is just there selling their ass off week after week after week, you get thrown a bone. It could be in the form of a Money in the Bank contract cash-in. It could be a one-off opportunity. He could be the guy down the line, but it's very unlikely. Let's be real. The big head would get in the way, right? So I have JD McDonough here at Doubt It. Jey Uso, the Intercontinental Champion. He feels like he's a step above Jimmy right now, but am I confident saying that Jey Uso is going to be a future WWE champion? No, I'm not confident in saying that. I wasn't even confident that they would put the IC title on him, right? I feel like he's a guy who's drawn so much money for WWE through the Yeet foam fingers, through the glasses. Like, I've even got some sitting right here, you know? The guy draws so much money for WWE, but do we see a world where he is the guy holding onto the WWE Championship? It's up in the air, isn't it, right? Like, main event Jey Uso, it could work. It obviously should work. If they ever pulled the trigger, I think lots of people would be very, very happy. But it's going to take the right push. It's going to take a lot of convincing that Jey Uso is going to be a WWE champion. So it's not that much of a lock, and I think we're very fair and safe putting him here alongside of his twin brother Jimmy Uso with the right push. I've got a fun one right here. Javon Evans. This boy be bouncy. He is so much fun to watch, and he's incredibly young, and he's putting on great matches after great matches already in NXT. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I want to look back on this list in about a decade's time, and I want to see just how right I was when Javon Evans is a future WWE champion. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take to happen, but there is something about Javon that just screams future WWE champion. I love everything about him. His moveset is incredible. The thing is, though, that maybe long term he might have to dial down his moveset a little bit because it's very risky, and who knows how long his body can hold up for that way. But for now, talk your talk, man. Walk your walk. Javon Evans is a future WWE champion, as is Jacob Fatu. There's very few people in WWE that have impressed me the way that Jacob Fatu has. Everything about him screams future WWE champion. He is like the most intimidating guy I have ever seen in WWE TV. And he reminds me so much of Umaga. It's crazy. I know Solo Sikoa has been viewed as the next Umaga, but this guy is the most athletic Umaga I've ever seen, and that is such a high praise of Jacob Fatu. His moveset is next to no one. He has the best moveset of all the Samoans. Everything about him is just incredible. So yeah, why not, right? What's stopping us from putting him here? He is definitely a future WWE champion. The big bad Ivar, one half of the Viking Raiders. I think it's very fair to say that this is a doubt it right here. He's not in the never going to happen category because we saw how good of a singles worker he was when Eric was out injured. But just there's going to be a lot of things that have to happen for Ivar to be given the ball and run with. And it feels like it's never going to happen. Honestly, even saying this out loud, I just don't see a world where Ivar is going to be WWE champion. But because, once again, of that incredible singles run that he had, he could get enough momentum that he could be in the conversation one day. But I doubt it. Next up, we have my favorite prospect in all of WWE. I think this guy has top-end potential, and I will never stop saying good things about Ilja Dragunov. He is right there as well for me with a future WWE champion. I do believe that this guy will be a world heavyweight champion in no time. We're talking within the next 2 years, this guy is going to be the guy. But after that, if he does it right, and he does get the reactions that I think he will, he should be a WWE champion. There is everything going for Ilja Dragunov. His finish, the H-bomb, is one of the best finishers I've ever seen. And I know people don't like it for some reason, but it would hurt. Dude's driving a forearm into your face and he's leaping while breathing smoke and fire. This guy is abso-freaking-lutely a future WWE champion. I almost called him Alberto Del Rio. Humberto Carrillo. This guy, look, sorry dude, you're gonna have to go alongside of your tag team partner Angel Garza. It is never gonna happen. Karrion Kross, he's been getting some interesting reactions lately and being featured more and more on TV, and there's some people that are starting to get behind him. Cough cough, Sancho West. There is people who do like Karrion Kross, and because of that reason, I think that he could be. I still have him here at the unlikely but possible. He needs something. And the Final Testament, unfortunately, wasn't what he needed. He's been doing this interesting story where he's getting in people's ears, and he's starting to almost be like the devil who is causing these people to change over time. And while that's a great story for the middle of the card, I don't know how that rises up to becoming WWE champion. But hey, if there is a spot on the bandwagon one day, I would love to hop on. The dude was great in NXT. His hairless character was far more entertaining and far more menacing than his current one. But he does have that inside of him, and all it takes is for something to click, and he could be the guy to rise up the card. So I have him in unlikely, but possible. L.A. Knight. Yeah. This guy, oh man, so popular. He is just incredibly popular, but he is a little older, right? And it's taken him this long to get this momentum to be the United States champion. With the right push, there's no reason why he couldn't be a WWE champion. He is popular enough. He is a top merch seller. He's got the catchphrase. it could work. He does work a main event style matchup. He's not the best in ring person, but like he's not bad either. Like he's more than passable. Like, this could be a guy who could become a WWE champion someday, but his time is running out. If this United States title run goes well and it elevates him even more, then yeah, this could be a future WWE champion. But if this US title is just a little kind of meh, forgettable, and he falls back down the card after, I don't see a world where he gets that opportunity. So we'll see. It's possible. It's certainly possible with the right push. And it's less than, unlikely. Like, it's likely it could happen. But hey, we'll see what a year's time does. Kofi Kingston, one half of the New Day. I feel like with the story he's in right now with Xavier Woods could lead him towards the WWE Championship someday. It felt like when he was partnered with Odyssey Jones, they might have been building up, honestly, Odyssey Jones and Kofi Kingston as a duo together to elevate Kofi up that card, to have that big boy beside him who is intimidating and massive. But now that Odyssey Jones is gone, I feel like that's not going to happen anymore. The idea of a heel Kofi Kingston is intriguing. To me, if they decide to not turn Xavier heel and they decide to go in the direction of turning Kofi Kingston heel, look, that could be enough to rise him up that card. But even then, it feels like Kofi Mania was once in a lifetime. It doesn't feel like we've got all of that ready to go again. So it's unlikely that Kofi Kingston's going to become a WWE champion again. But hey, because he is a former WWE champion, because he is Kofi Kingston, anything can happen. Kevin Owens. Oh man, this hurts to put him here as well. But Kevin Owens at this point in his career, I just don't see a world where WWE truly gets behind him as the WWE champion again. It's been a long time since we've seen this man hold on to singles gold. And there's probably a reason for that, because he's so valuable to the rest of the card. Anytime that WWE needs anything, they call on Kevin Owens. You need a babyface, Kevin Owens. You need a heel, Kevin Owens. You need a tweener, Kevin Owens. You need a comedy bit, Kevin Owens. You need a talk show host, Kevin Owens. Literally anything at all that Kevin can do, WWE's like, hey, you're our perfect MVP. You're our most versatile player. Why would they put him up towards the WWE Championship? It's tough to say, right? But I just don't see a world where that happens again. It's unlikely, but hey, with the right run, it's possible. Lexis King, future WWE Champion. Put it right there, inject it into my veins. No, I'm joking. Obviously, I'm joking. Look, Lexis King, he's actually starting to win me over down in NXT. Crazy to say, I know, but he is. It feels like he's never going to get it done, though. I don't know a world where Lexis King is pushed towards the top of WWE. It feels kind of weird, and it feels very, very unlikely. So the safe spot is to put him in the doubt it. Randy Orton. I'm going to put him up here as future WWE champion. The rumors are saying that Randy Orton is going to be around for like another 5 years or so. And a lot can happen in 5 years, especially if Randy Orton is going to turn heel and feud with Cody Rhodes over the WWE Championship. That could very well be a WrestleMania match. It might be main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, or hell, if built right, it could be a night 2 main event. There is so much potential with Randy Orton as WWE champion again, because not only is he looking like he's in incredible shape, but he's also putting in some of the best character work he's ever done. He's over right now with WWE, and all it takes is a little tweak of his character to get him right back up in that main event scene. He just faced Gunther for the World Heavyweight title and looked excellent in that feud, so why wouldn't you put him towards the WWE Championship? He is going to be another WWE champion. It's just a matter of time. We've got R-Truth right here, and look, R-Truth, I love you. I love his character, but it's so past his time. He had that opportunity against John Cena all those years ago, and he's a great worker. He's so funny, but funny can only get you so far. He's one of, if not the greatest comedy character in WWE history, but that means that he's no longer taken as a credible threat. And unfortunately for R-Truth, it's past his time. He's a little older now. He's been around for a long time. His character is established. He's done far too many comedy bits to be taken seriously again. R-Truth is, look, He's lovely, but it's past his time. Peter Dune. Look, man, I think he has been presented pretty well. It's going to take a bit of a miracle for Pete Dunne to be seen as a WWE champion. I see him definitely as a future Intercontinental or United States champion, definitely a tag team champion. But to be in that top spot for the WWE championship, again, there's a lot of things that have to happen in order for Pete Dunne to be that guy. And while he is still young, and he's very, very talented, I don't know a world where he is going to be given the ball and run with. So for me, it's unlikely, but hey, it is possible. He is a Triple H guy, and Triple H loves him. We've seen the work that he did as NXT UK champion, and it was great match after great match. So he might decide to run with it if they're going to focus on some work rate. But for me, right now in 2024, it feels very unlikely. Otis, oh man, there was a time where Otis was Mr. Money in the Bank, and it felt like this could end up happening. But now, after the feud with Chad Gable, it's never going to happen. I just don't see a world where Otis is going to be the WWE champion. There was a time. It was a crazy time. It was a pandemic. Everybody was at home. The Otis experiment was underway. But even then, when he held the Mr. Money in the Bank briefcase, WWE was never willing to commit to Otis as WWE champion. They just weren't. And if they weren't willing to commit back then when he was Mr. Money in the Bank, what makes us think that they'll commit now? I don't see it for Otis. Unfortunately, it's never going to happen. Oba Femi, though. Oh, ho, ho. This guy is so good. This is what you call an A-plus prospect, but he has to be taken a look at here because does WWE see him as just another big man on the main roster, or do they see him as the guy to carry the torch? He can speak very, very well, and he's young, plus he's incredibly athletic in that ring with one of the most impressive movesets WWE has to offer today. To me, if we're going to put Javon Evans up here, if we're going to put a Grayson Waller up here, I feel like we have to put an Oba Femi. He feels like he's in that A-plus tier right now of WWE prospects. You're telling me that it's like Bron Breakker, one of the guys that they're building the future around. If you're telling me that it's going to be an Ilja Dragunov, a Carmelo Hayes that they're building the future around, they bet their ass they better be building their future around Oba Femi. He's got everything you could possibly want. Oba Femi is a future WWE champion. Nathan Frazier, as I like to call him, Mini Rollins. His moveset is so much fun to watch. Him in the ring is incredible. Like, he has to be one of the fastest workers on the planet. Everything he does is like watching YouTube in ×2 speed. He just moves around that ring so incredibly fast. He's so much fun to watch, but he's undersized. He really is. And it's going to take a lot of change and a lot of bulking up in order to be taken seriously in that main event scene. Nathan Frazier, it's unlikely, but it is possible. Dirty Dominik Mysterio. Okay, so I feel like Dom is one of those characters that could actually fit into every single category except for past their time. Because he's young, right? Like, he's young, so it's not past his time. But man, oh man, this guy has so much potential, but he's also got that potential that could end up doing nothing with, right? He's a guy who I feel is taken seriously by the fans, but it's not because of his in-ring work. It's not because he's constantly winning championships. People just care about the character Dominik Mysterio. But what's super important about pro wrestling is not what you do in the ring, but it's your connection with the crowd. And one thing is for certain, Dominik Mysterio has an incredible connection with the crowd. We've seen this guy since he was a child. His deadbeat dad brought him around to all these events so that he could groom him for the main event. It's so obvious what Rey wanted to do. All right, Rey knew that he was not going to make money forever, and so he needed to mooch off his son. Now, unfortunately for Rey Mysterio, Dominik Mysterio understood what was happening and said, F you, Dad, I'm going to do it my own way. And because of that, because he's going to do it his own way, he's going to become a future WWE champion. He's going to have the Nuggies championship. He's going to be playing video games all day, driving around with his hot-ass girlfriend and Liv Morgan, and they're going to be dual champions forever. This man is a future WWE champion. So I have a little bit of a different one here in Myles Borne. Now, Myles Borne is one of those raw talents down in NXT that hasn't really been formed into much yet. But there's something here about Myles Borne that reminds me of a young John Cena. It's wild to say, but he's incredibly athletic and he's got the look that could be morphed into something more. So I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a doubt it. I feel like he's unlikely but possible, because like this guy, he really is quite an interesting prospect. And if in 5 years' time, if you told me he's competing for the IC title or the US title, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, I've got him here unlikely but possible. We're down to our last 4 here, and shout out to Editor Jay for putting in the work with this video. Good lord, dude, it's a long one. But here we go. This is Montez Ford, and we have been talking about Montez for so long. It could be one of these 3 right here, because it's been so long we've been talking about Montez as a single star and we've yet to see anything. It could be unlikely but possible. It could also be considered that, hey, with the right push, Montez Ford, whether it be in the tag team of the Street Profits or separate, he could be the guy to rise up to the top. But for me, I see incredible athletic ability here with Montez, a guy who has already established himself outside of the ring with his show with Bianca Belair. To me, they are just waiting for the moment. Montez Ford's a future WWE champion, and he's got literally everything. The charisma alone, oh my God, I can't wait to see this guy on top. I can't wait to see what this championship run is going to look like. He literally has it all. He's about as close to a 5-tool player that WWE has right now, and that they've done very little with. It felt like at one point they were going to start pushing him as a solo star back when he competed inside the Elimination Chamber for the US title. But ever since then, it's been back to the tag division. So it's just a matter of time. He is a future WWE champion. Ludwig Kaiser. I feel like Ludwig is almost underrated now. He has done a lot of good stuff for WWE, so much so that I feel like with the right push, he could become a WWE champion. It's still a little bit away, right? He still has to build up his momentum, but now that he's starting to split a little bit separate from Gunther, starting to stand on his own 2 feet, he doesn't feel out of place. He's got the look, he's got the mic skills, he's certainly got the character. It's different than everything else in WWE, so why not? With the right push, he could absolutely be a WWE champion. All right, next up is Logan Paul. We have quite a few more superstars left, so hopefully you're enjoying the video. If you are, make sure you leave a like on this thing, make sure you subscribe, and comment down below if you guys want me to do any other tier lists in the future. But up next is Logan Paul, and Logan Paul is one of those interesting ones who's already fought for the WWE Championship, and he looked great doing so. But WWE's got a big question mark with Logan Paul. Because he's not primarily a wrestler, because he is more of an influencer who comes and goes when he pleases, and is also shrouded in controversy, I don't know if they're ever going to pull the trigger on him being the guy. He's so young, and I feel like it's just a matter of time before he does, that it's going to take with the right push. I don't want to sit here and say he is a future WWE champion, because again, a lot of things have to go right for Logan Paul to become that guy. But for now, with the right push, I could see him becoming the WWE champion someday. I mean, WWE loved him as United States champion. The amount of attention that he brought to WWE was great, and he would do the same as WWE champion, but how much would he be around for? Would he be able to do weekly shows? Is he going to cause any controversy with some of his products outside of WWE? You know, there's some stuff with Logan Paul that maybe WWE needs to be cautious with. Let's go with Ridge the Fridge Holland. This man, I don't see it happening for. However, it's not impossible. We're going to put him here in the doubt it category simply because he is a big enough dude and he is getting some momentum and some heel heat down in NXT. But it took a while to get people to care about Ridge Holland, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do the same on the main roster, so I doubt it. Xavier Woods. This one, oh my God, do you know how much I want to put him up here in future WWE champion? Just because of his affiliation with the New Day and how Kofi Kingston won it and Big E won it. Wouldn't it be amazing to say all 3 members of the New Day won the WWE championship? But I got him down here at unlikely but possible. Look, he could turn heel and he could light the world on fire and get some incredible heat going up against Kofi Kingston, which rises him up towards the top of the card. And maybe, who knows, he's a great heel challenger for Cody Rhodes or something like that. But for all that to happen, it's a lot of things have to happen, right? And it just feels unlikely for it to go down in 2024 or 2025 or 2026 or anywhere in the future, really. So for now, I've got you Xavier in the unlikely but possible. Wes Lee, baby, he's next up. I love everything Wes is doing in NXT. This heel run has given me life. I loved him as the North American champion. He is going to be a future mid-card champion. He is absolutely going to have a great career in WWE. The one thing going against him, his size. He's too small, man. I don't see a world where he's going to be the guy who rises up and becomes WWE champion. Very similar to a Ricochet in the sense that his moves are so incredible to watch. He's easy to love. He's easy to get behind. So maybe someday he could rise to that position. But for now, it feels like he's going to be a perennial mid-carder. So I've got him in the mid-card. Doubt it. Tyler Bate. All right, masturbators rise. Where are you at, my masturbators? No, we really shouldn't call it that. Tyler Bate, I'm going to go down here and say never going to happen. If for the amount of time he was in NXT, if WWE ever saw him as a main eventer, they wouldn't have left him in NXT for that long. He's been grinding away for years and years and years and years and years, but he's still young, but he's never been viewed as the guy. He's never been viewed as the man to just hold the mantle, except for when he won the UK championship right out of the gate. That was it for Tyler Bate. So I just don't see a world where he is going to be a man who's a WWE champion, unfortunately. Trick Williams. Okay. Trick Williams is one of those prospects in NXT that they have really, really, really gotten behind. And the theme song with the fans chanting it elevates this guy's potential so much. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a future WWE champion for sure. But if he can continue that type of momentum on the main roster and do the things that he does down in NXT on Raw or SmackDown, he's got all the potential in the world. And it just takes the right story and the right timing for him to be the guy. So with the right push, Trick Williams could become a WWE champion. Tony D'Angelo. Doubt it. Look, I'm not trying to crap on D'Angelo. I'm not trying to make it seem like he doesn't have any potential at all. But a mafia man holding on to the top prize of WWE, I mean, weirder things have happened, but that just screams mid-card gimmick. The infamous Tonga Loa. Definitely, without a doubt, a future WWE champion. My man is going to sell eye patches like crazy. Look, it's never going to happen, okay? Tonga Loa as WWE champion is never going to happen. I just don't see a world where WWE decides that out of everybody in the bloodline, that's their guy, okay? He is a great accessory to anything that is going on. He's arguably the most funny person in wrestling, but that doesn't get you WWE Championship gold. I just can't see WWE putting their trust in him to run with the title. So no, Tonga Loa, it's never going to happen. The Miz. Okay, so The Miz is obviously a former WWE champion, and that makes you consider him for a future championship. But to me, he falls into the category of past their time. He's been there, done that, and now he's established on the roster, certainly in towards the mid-card and lower mid-card. And it's going to take a lot to elevate this man out of there. We've seen a heel Miz. We've seen a babyface Miz. We've seen a guy partnered with him. It's just, they've done everything with Miz. He's a future Hall of Famer, no doubt, but I don't see a world where he's going to be WWE champion again. Tavion Heights is another one like Myles Borne. I'm going to put him here at the unlikely but possible due to his raw athletic ability. And if brought up in the right way and put with the right person and taught the right things, this guy could become a WWE champion someday. We're talking 10 years into the future. But if you take a look at his work over in Japan, he is learning super duper quick. And anybody who comes into the business from outside of the business and picks it up like that, you got to keep an eye on. And it's not like he's a small dude. He's a bigger dude who really has that muscle to throw people around as well. And he's got a good look. Tavion Heights could become a WWE champion someday. Tama Tonga. Hey, he's gotten a lot of people talking since coming to WWE. He certainly does feel like an accessory to the Bloodline story, and the way that he talks, I don't see his WWE Championship potential, so I'm going to put him here in the doubt it. But that's not to say that he couldn't become something more. It's just because he's been around in wrestling for a long time that it feels like maybe his time has passed him by. But I'm also not ready to put in past their time because he is getting reactions. He is a guy who is drawing some sort of connection with the crowd. And again, that's all it takes, right, is some sort of connection. So I doubt it, but hey, weird things have happened. Solo Sikoa. This is actually a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, because he could be considered a future WWE champion considering how he is positioned with this bloodline story. But at the same time, he's a foe to Roman Reigns. He is a guy who is in this position because Roman Reigns needs somebody to feud against. And how else do you get Roman over as a babyface than just putting him up against like the most hated group on Friday Night SmackDown? Solo Sikoa, with the right story, could become a WWE champion with the right push. He was close to doing it against Cody Rhodes, and a lot of people thought maybe they would pull the trigger. But now that Roman's back, it's a tough world to see how Solo Sikoa gets the WWE Championship. And then you start to envision, well, what's after the bloodline for Solo Sikoa? Is he going to ever be taken as seriously again? He could be. He's good enough at what he does. And so that's why I feel like it's with the right push, he could become a WWE champion. Shinsuke Nakamura. How this man never won the championship back in, like, what was it, 2017, whatever year it was that he was being pushed when he won the Royal Rumble. I don't understand how he didn't win the WWE championship against AJ Styles. This is like one of those, or even Jinder Mahal. Like, these are one of those questionable booking decisions that WWE had back then. He lit the world on fire. And when Jinder Mahal was WWE champion, everybody was like, yeah, it's just a matter of time before Nakamura takes the title. He's never going to get back to that level again. The closest he got was Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, and that was so very clear. Just a feud to A, try to attract Okada to WWE, and B, just a filler feud for Rollins to help build up the history and the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't see a world where Nakamura is going to win the title anymore. It is past his time. It should have been back when he was feuding with Jinder and AJ and won the Royal Rumble and all that stuff. It should have been then. It's not going to be now. Booyaka! Rey Mysterio. I love Ray. I love Ray. No matter how bad of a dad he is, okay, he's still Rey Mysterio, and he's a great wrestler, and he's incredibly fun to watch. However, unfortunately, can anybody else think of a way that Rey Mysterio gets to the WWE Championship? I know I can't. It's past his time at this point. He's here to put over the next generation of stars. It's all about Dominik Mysterio now. It's not about Rey Mysterio. And while Rey might get one opportunity here and there because it's an exciting name going up against the championship, in what world does he win the title? In what world does WWE say, hey, Rey Mysterio, you're our guy in 2024? They barely did it a decade and a half ago. Why would they do it now? So, yeah, Rey Mysterio, it's past his time, unfortunately. Seth freaking Rollins. Now, with Rollins, it should be a lock, right? Seth Rollins should be considered a future WWE champion. However, his knee is coming into question, isn't it? His knee has been shattered recently, and he is on the mend for sure, but how many more years does Seth Rollins have ahead of him? He's obviously a future championship contender, but does WWE pull the trigger again and actually put the top prize on Rollins? I'm going to still say yes. I think Rollins has one more WWE championship run in his future, but it's not as guaranteed as it used to be. That knee is like soup right now, and hopefully it's getting better. Hopefully he's on the mend, because Rollins is so incredibly fun to watch in that ring. But, like, look, you never know. If he's too hurt, they might not push him up that card again. Santos Escobar. It's probably doubt it. I think it's fair to say doubt it. Like, it probably even closer to never going to happen, honestly. But Santos Escobar does have enough in-ring skills, and he's got the faction with him, that it could be something that they try in the future. But I really doubt it. Like, this is about as close to being on the line of doubt it and never going to happen as possible. Like, he is like just over that line, but we round up around here. So Santos Escobar, I doubt he's going to be a WWE champion. Great talent, though. Sami Zayn. Oh, this is going to hurt my heart, man. I probably have to put him here with the right push. And actually, you know what? I probably have to put him here at unlikely. The World Heavyweight Championship for Sami Zayn seems more plausible than the WWE Championship. He's just not seen at that level. And if they weren't going to pull the trigger against Roman Reigns back at Elimination Chamber 2022, is that what it was? Was that when it was in Montreal? Whenever it was. I was there, man. 2023? 2023. It should have been Sami Zayn. I mean, not that that's a mark in me saying that. It should have been Sami Zayn picking up that win. But just even for one night, I would have loved to see Sami Zayn get that hometown crowd reaction. And now I just don't know a world where Sami Zayn is going to become the WWE champion. We had lightning in a bottle there for a little bit. So much so that we were discussing taking the title off of Roman Reigns for Sami Zayn. But alas, it didn't happen. And so Sami Zayn is probably unlikely, but still possible. And that brings us to our final entrant here today. It is Roman Reigns. And I think everybody can agree that Roman's reign at the top of the card is not over, and not over by a long shot. He is just really getting started as a true top tier babyface. And because he's just getting started, because WWE has wanted him to be the top babyface for so long, you know a WWE championship run is in his future. He might even be the guy to take the title back off of Cody Rhodes. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but someday, somehow, some way, Roman Reigns will be a WWE champion again. Wow. All right. That took a while. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I know there's a lot of people up here, but tell me the ones that you really agree with or the ones you really disagree with, and let's have a fun civil conversation down below, because remember, this is all for fun. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what the future looks like. Neither do you, so that's why we watch the show. But while you're down there in the comments, you might as well leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and keep coming back every single day, because we upload wrestling videos every single day. That word was upload that I just butchered, but I'm not going to redo it. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.